Oi! This is the Film Knobs podcast, it is!
Yeah, with the Film Knobs.
We watch movies.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Chase. Just wanted to make a quick announcement before you jump into this fever dream of a first episode. We did have a few audio problems that we have since worked through, but unfortunately for this episode, you guys are stuck with them. Shouldn't be too bad, but future audio will definitely be better. Sorry, and thank you.
Film knobs, mate. Like, that's hilarious. So they're gonna hear that first, and then you go into your thing.
That's what I figured. Yeah, let's just do it.
It's
just
debatable.
it was being the only one on camera was the thing. I think that's what it was.
Alternatively, everything we just said for the last 5 minutes should be in the first episode because that's a hilarious bit. But Ashton fucking stopped the recording like a piece of shit.
Oh well, it's not like we don't have it still. We could still just add it in.
Should all be in there. But all right, go ahead, Chase.
We can make all those decisions afterwards in post, I think.
Go ahead, Chase.
All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Film Knobs podcast, a broad movie discussion podcast hosted by me and two other idiots who have no film industry or academic background whatsoever. My name is Chase.
Academic. I went to school.
To what degree? I mean,
I have a high school diploma.
okay, well.
I've taken a film class, I think.
I took a high school class once. I watched a few movies.
I watched a lot of movies and smoked a lot of weed while watching those movies in high school, Chase. I have plenty of background.
I remember when they would wheel in the TV, and I will tell you, I watched that. I watched what was ever on those TVs.
That's when it started. That was the genesis.
Was the best.
That's
when a substitute just decided to show a movie, those were the best days.
Best days.
But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag style podcast. We're going to be doing a little bit of different things every week, whatever we kind of decide. This week, we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite movies of 2020. Big year, not a huge year for a lot of great films, but there's some goodies that came out. But before we get into that, I guess we'll talk about ourselves a little bit. I'm kind of the host, I guess, declared by the group, not entirely by choice. I'm Chase. What's up? I like watching movies. So that's something about me.
Boring. Let's throw it over to me now. Hey guys, I'm Bohden. I'm Chase's brother. Been watching movies my whole life. I love them. Some of my favorite directors are Tarantino. I love Edgar Wright. I love Denis Villeneuve. Yes, that's a French name, and I pronounced it perfectly. I love action. I love sci-fi. That's who I am.
Superhero movies. That's what he loves.
Very good.
And I'm a big superhero movie guy.
Good, and then I guess on to me. My name is Ashton. I watch films sometimes in my free time when I'm not working and or with my 1-year-old son. Being a young father and husband sometimes could get in the way of having free time.
Very difficult.
Really trying to farm the sympathy fucking fan.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
Father, we get it.
So yeah, this is actually like a nuisance to me actually recording this and like doing all
actually
of this.
bothering you right now.
Yeah, you're actually in
your kid at the
my
park
time
right
to
now.
where I could be like being an amazing role model, but instead I'm doing amateur film reviews. Which thank you for having me, Chase and
Awesome,
Bohden.
yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, and I'm their friend. I'm not related to them in any way.
Not by blood.
Not by
Not by blood, but by the heart and by the soul.
By heart and mind.
But again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so just a couple of amateurs here talking about what movies we like, and I think an appropriate place to start is our top 5, our number 5 in the top 5. I think it'd be silly to start anywhere else.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to deliver their number 5?
I could go second for sure.
Second? Okay. Doesn't matter. It's no pressure here at all.
I'll go first. I don't care. Chase seems extremely nervous. I can hear the sweat beating off of his brow.
Oh, yeah. You could smell the fear. You could smell it.
I really can.
Denied.
His voice got higher there.
You can start.
Yeah. All right. So number 5. We gotta say that 2020 was really like a beyond shitty year for movies. COVID-19 really impacted the movie industry, but still, there was just kind of a lot of dog shit. But I think I got a pretty good top 5 here. Number 5.
I doubt it.
Fuck you, good sir. Number 5. I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie. It's called The Vast of Night. The Vast of Night is kind of this small, contained little story. It takes place in the 1950s in New Mexico, and it's basically about these two high schoolers. Everett, who's this local radio DJ.
Are they vampires?
Ooh,
They are not vampires, but good
Oh.
guess.
sounds like it would be though.
Yeah.
And by
Good
radio DJ, I don't mean like he plays music. This is the 1950s, so he's kind of just like a radio announcer for this little town.
Radio
Um,
broadcaster, some would say.
It'd be funny if he was the first radio DJ trying to like do tropical house and
Yeah,
shit.
he's actually it's Skrillex's origin story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, on this particular, this all takes place over one night too. So, and on this particular night, he's kind of casting the local high school basketball game along with his plucky switchboard operating sidekick, Faye. She's basically in charge of receiving and rerouting the calls that come in from the local residents. For
Is
whatever reason
is
they
this a
wanna call.
psychological thriller? What it
No,
seems...
no. This is actually a sci-fi movie.
Oh.
With
Ah.
at its core, it's kind of a sci-fi alien movie, but it kind of plays more like a drama over the course of the movie.
Mm.
On this particular night, though, the kind of crux of the movie, Everett and Faye, while they're casting this high school basketball game, they receive a very strange frequency over the airwaves that they've never heard before. And over the course of the night, they realize slowly that this is potentially extraterrestrial in origin. Woo!
Whoa.
Spooky. But yeah, this movie is so fucking amazing. Like it's very, like I said, it's very small and it's very contained and it's a very quiet movie, but it's so fucking immersive. Like at
Yeah.
one point, you get some residents calling into the radio because when they hear this frequency, they play it for the listeners because they want to know if anyone's heard this before. They get a resident calling in saying that he has heard this frequency before and how it's haunted him ever since he heard it. And over the course of his monologue telling this story about him hearing it, it's just a black screen. Like the director decides to have a totally black screen, like no faces, no objects, just a black screen while he monologues.
Easy.
And
Yeah.
it's incredibly captivating. Like it's not
That
boring
sounds like
in the
it
slightest.
sounds like he's on meth. Sounds like he's hallucinating. Is that...
You think the director was on methamphetamine?
No, the guy,
Hallucinating?
this guy who's watching a black screen and he's hearing radio.
We're watching the black screen, Ashton. Can you listen?
You're
Can you
watching
pay
the black.
attention?
Okay, no, so you're
The
watching
movie is a black screen while this man monologues.
the
telling his
whole
story.
time black
Not
screen.
literally, not the whole time, Ashton. It's a creative choice by the director, and it was great. Okay.
Okay, no, that does sound great.
Because
I'm
with a black
immersed
screen-
on the way you've told the story.
with a black screen, all you can do is focus on his story and any images that you conjure up in your imagination. And
Wow.
it's
It's
incredible.
an interesting choice, I guess.
Wow,
It
that
forces
is-
you to visualize
that's
it
good.
in your own way.
Whatever, guys. Screw you. The movie's amazing. It's an alien movie, basically an alien abduction movie where nobody really gets abducted. It's just kind of the idea of the aliens that you conjure in your mind that really sell this movie. And the course of the two characters kind of over the course of the night going to various people to try and figure out what this frequency was, how it's affected them. And
I wonder if because you said it was in the 1950s.
it was, yeah.
Like what time period did like the conversation about UFOs and stuff start happening? Like when did that start really taking in America, and like the conspiracies about that shit?
I'm not sure, but I think it might be around this time. It might be like maybe a decade or two later, like the late 60s or 70s potentially is when like the UFO stuff was going on, because even in the beginning when they hear this frequency, the character, before he thinks it's aliens, he thinks it's actually like a Soviet signal because of the whole Red Scare that's going on in the 50s at that point.
Yeah.
He thinks like communists are going to invade Cayuga, New Mexico.
Of course, yeah. Prime spot for them to drop down in, actually.
A quick fact, actually 1639 is when the first reported UFO was, so you should retract your statements.
When was that?
Ashton, nobody's talking
1639?
1639 was the first
Where was
UFO.
this?
Ashton, he's talking about like alien UFOs. He's not talking about like someone saw a fucking chariot.
Massachusetts Bay Colony. I can't even speak. But
Wow.
that
Pilgrims.
in the yes.
They documented that.
Is that before people even knew what stars were, Ashton? Like, can you really
Well,
count that?
hey, he said there's this. Okay, so he says the boatman said a mysterious light ran as swift as an arrow, darting back and forth between them and the village of Charlestown. So I don't think it was. I think he knew what a star was.
Hey, that's great that you can Google stuff, Ashton, but we're talking about like the whole Roswell incident, like UFO panic, like people disappearing, like crop circles.
I mean, think
I'm
about
talking about
it.
fucking pilgrims
Yeah.
Think about
chasing.
1639. Like I'd be
because
pretty
someone-
like.
Just because
If-
some guy who didn't know what lightning was saw a fucking lightning bolt, he's like, "Oh my god, is that an alien, mate?"
It's 1639. There's been civilization for how long?
I don't know why my guy was Australian, but that was the first accent I went to.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess stupid people are just Australian to me. So, all right. So that was my movie. I think that's a strong number 5. A little
That's
sci-fi
not-
movie. It's really a fantastic movie. It's really suspenseful and really immersive, and I just loved it.
Sounds cool. I didn't hear of a lot of great sci-fi movies this year or in 2020.
Yeah. I didn't hear of it for a while, but yeah, it's great.
Ashley, you want to go next, or you want me to?
Yeah. My number 5 is Jungle Land.
Oh,
Ooh, we did watch that. I did
Yeah,
watch
that-
Chase
that
and I
boxing movie?
watched it together, but it's made in 2019, released in November of 2020. But it's a movie about two brothers who are down on their luck financially and just no home, nothing to live for. And the youngest brother is coached by his older brother in boxing, and they start off in underground boxing and try to just make money where they can, and it's just a captivating. I can't even talk. Captivating? Is that it?
Captivating.
Captivating.
Catvapating.
Okay, so it's an exhilarating movie. Just on emotions, and especially during the fight scenes, I thought it was really done boxing wise. It didn't seem like over dramatic in any way.
I liked when we watched it. I really liked the It was like a gritty. Like they were so poor. They were like what do you call it when you like squatting in different houses when you first meet them at the start, and it's like just really abysmal, and you feel so bad for these people, right? But then you're like, when they start talking and you see the relationship between the brothers, it's so fucking overwhelmingly warming in that sense, because they care for each other so much, and there's like such like a beautiful relationship between them, and they like really look out for each other's back and stuff. And their synergy in that movie was amazing.
Yes.
Now, I'm the only one here who hasn't seen it. So, like, did you say, is there like a big fight that the story builds to that they need to win?
No, he does fight throughout it a few times. So it's not like all leading up to that, which I wouldn't have liked that if it was just all of them getting to one last fight. But throughout the movie, there are like different fights in different circumstances, and that's what I like. It doesn't all take place in the ring. Obviously they're fighting for money, fighting for a place to stay, fighting to just survive. It does star Charlie Hunnam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jack O'Connell. I like Jack O'Connell because he was in Skins. That's what I known him from. I believe it's Money Monster. He also plays with George Clooney.
Yeah.
But as a brother story, it's very touching. I like it.
Yeah. So
It's
Jungle
number
Land,
5 for
the actual title, Jungle Land, it refers to in the movie a boxing tournament in a different state somewhere. I forget. I think it was across the country.
San Francisco.
Kind of, in San Francisco, that they kind of get forced into, in a way, into entering, because they end up owing money to I don't know if he's a drug dealer or some mafia, but whatever he is. They end up owing money to some guy, and the brother is really good at boxing, so they say, hey, what if we enter this competition? We'll win you the money back in tenfold, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of get thrust into that. And they don't really get to, it's not really focused on the competition itself, but they work their way towards it. They travel towards it, and they run along like a bunch of different problems along the way.
They see it as a way out, one last, I would say, one last fight. They could finally like do something with the money, or like it's a whole like a survival thing, I would say, for the most.
So is the tournament like the kind of the climax of the movie where he gets to the tournament and has
No,
has
no, definitely not the climax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's like the core of the movie? Because normally these sports movies, like these boxing movies, there's usually like a fight that's built to, like, whether it's in Rocky or like.
Well, Boden, that's why it kind of narratively fell down for me and isn't actually in my top 5 and objectively shouldn't be in a top 5.
Wow, the
It
truth
just-
comes out.
It just wasn't there for me, you know? The relationship between Charlie, how do you say his name? Charlie Hunnam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hunnam and Jack O'Connell, fucking fantastic. I liked, who played Stanley? Charlie played Stanley. Stanley, he was fucking phenomenal. It was truly amazing acting on his part in like their relationship. But like narratively, the film wasn't full of much. You know, it kind of was like building towards that tournament, but they never. I don't know. You know, it didn't really.
Ashton,
Okay.
how do you rebut that?
Chase likes any movie that deals with a drama and a relationship because he's had his
Wow.
heart broken a few times. So
Oh no.
Wow. We all have brothers here, so it was touching, and we could feel, you know,
yes,
how they felt.
that was
love
a
it.
huge
Like
part
the
to
movie.
it. Was the for me it was the brother aspect.
That's cool. Yeah, because I've watched like movies centered around like brotherhood or literal brothers before, and I can usually relate to that, of course, because I got a brother. Like when Ace dies in One Piece. Oh my god.
Okay, this is film now.
Ooh.
Back to Chase's number 5.
Number
Oh god.
5.
What the hell is
Ooh.
this gonna be?
My 5th film of the year is The Devil All the Time.
What?
Yes, it is. It is. I know, and I knew I was gonna catch a little flack for it, but I had to put it in there.
Oh my god. Go ahead. Before I rip into
Before you
right
rip
now,
me
go
a
ahead.
new one, that's fine. I really
Go
liked
ahead.
this movie. It was a whimsical little tale.
I did watch it and I did like it. I'm a huge fan
did,
of Bill
yeah,
Bill
Absolutely.
Skarsgård and Tom Holland, of course,
Yeah, dude, a round of a great
and
cast.
Robert Pattinson's in there, right?
A great cast, and
He was,
where
yeah.
it might have
Yeah.
felt narratively confusing, I think the acting and everything else kind of picked it up.
Yes.
Antonio Campos, I think, it was a fantastic film.
It was produced by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Was it really?
Yes.
I didn't see that. Shout out to Jake. Big fan of Jake. I'm on the podcast, Jake.
Anybody, please.
Yeah, if you know Jake,
Yeah.
if you even know Jake, if you met Jake once.
So
what's up?
Chase, are you gonna describe the movie for people
Yeah.
who haven't seen it?
But the devil all the time, yeah. Sinister characters converge around a young man devoted to protecting those he loves in a post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality.
Yeah, let me cut you off right there.
So,
Yeah.
Are
here's
you
the
reading
thing.
this off of a
No,
script?
no. Here's the thing.
I-
This is why I asked, hey Chase, tell us what the movie's about. Because this is a movie that's about nothing. Like, this
Wow.
movie is about nothing. There's characters in the movie, and they do stuff, and then they converge in different plot lines, and that's it. What is this movie actually about? Go ahead and tell me.
okay, so wow, rude. First off, very rude the way you say it like that. You hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. You hurt my feelings a little bit. No, but
I'm sorry.
it was so it was confusing at times to figure out what it was truly about.
You don't know what it's about.
Ask me that. Now that you asked me that, I am kind of, groveling for an answer here because I don't really know what it was truly about. But it was exciting to watch, like, the relationship between Willard and Arvin and his family fall apart.
Who are Willard and Arvin?
Willard was played by Bill Skarsgård. Fantastic performance. Arvin was Tom Holland. And you follow, like, the multiple lifelines of these people, the generations, and how kind of this misfortune follows them in multiple different ways, no matter what they do. And I liked the way that the timelines, it bounced around, and there were multiple paths that crossed in different ways with, the people who were driving around murdering folks who picked up the hitchhikers and stuff. And how
You sound confused.
well, it was very, some of it might have been confusing, but
Honestly, like, I didn't.
confusion was a bit of, film genius, I think.
But
I don't think
I'm always a fan of psychological thrillers. So, but again, not a movie I thought should be on my top five or objectively any top five.
It's very rude.
honestly, I don't think it's not a bad movie. I actually had a lot of fun watching it. Just
Yeah.
the thing about it was that to me, when I got to the end of the movie, like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm loving it. Like all the characters are interesting, the interwoven stories are really cool. I loved all that. But when it ended, all I was asking myself was like, okay, well, what was the point? What's like the lesson learned? Like what's being taught here? Like what did Tom Holland's character learn? Like I didn't really understand the point of like telling these stories and interweaving them. So that was kind of why it fell a little flat, but it was still like a good movie.
Guess I feel similar in some ways, but I don't think he objectively has to learn anything. I think it's
Well,
just
no, I didn't mean his character. I just meant like the
Yeah.
viewer. Like what's
Yeah,
what's
I
the
know what you
message
mean.
being told to us? You know what I
I
mean?
know what you mean. It kind of just I liked that it was just kind of a weird fairy tale. It felt like an adventure that I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen next. And the way
Yeah, that's true.
it kept getting more dramatic and more dramatic, and I was like, okay, is it going to cool off at any point? But no, it just kept pushing. He kept pushing it, and a lot of murder, a lot of blood. That
That's true.
I wasn't really prepared for too. I thought it was exciting. Maybe not the most narratively fulfilling, but I thought it was exciting nonetheless. Maybe better than Ashton's top number 5 choice.
Wow.
Objectively.
Objectively, that would hold up in court, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, over to number 4. Number 4, 2020 movie list. Number 4.
Number four. All right, I guess I'm up then. All right.
Yeah,
So number
that's how
4.
that works.
If you know me at all, you know this was going to be on my list somewhere in the top 5, and it's really the only good action movie that we had this year, so it has to be on here, and it's Tenet by Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
No.
No, I put it at number 4. You guys probably thought-
understandable.
No,
Yeah, you guys probably thought it was going to be higher, but there's some other great movies that I liked more. But as far as the action genre, which I love so much, this was the best one of this year, and of course it's by Nolan. So I feel like a lot of people have seen this movie, so I'll just give a quick rundown for anyone who hasn't. Tenet stars John, I think, is it John David Washington? Who is of course Denzel Washington's child. As soon as I saw the last name Washington, I'm like, okay, is this some nepotism going on here? And of course it is. But he basically
Amazing.
stars as he doesn't even have a name in the movie. He's just called the protagonist. And he's a CIA agent in the beginning of the movie. Some events happened, and he's eventually inducted into this kind of shadow organization called Tenet.
I believe they
Tenet-
kill him off. I believe they, he's dead, loses his identity.
Oh, well, I think I mean, not to get into plot details, but the mission he's on fails. He is forced to take a cyanide pill in order to not give away information. But that was actually all a ploy to see if he's trustworthy, and he turns out to be, so they induct him into this organization called Tenet. And Tenet's mission is basically an ongoing battle with the future itself, which sounds pretty complicated, but basically people in the future have invented an ability to what's called invert objects, and not just objects but also people. What that means is that objects like ourselves and the world around us, it's all moving forward in time relative to us, but an inverted one moves backwards in time. So people in the future, for a reason that's not explained until later in the movie, they want to utterly destroy the past itself using these assassins, temporal assassins that utilize the inverted world.
Very easy to understand.
Yeah, super easy to understand.
Super simple. Just a simple concept from Christopher Nolan, of course.
Yeah, it's fairly complicated, and there's a lot of exposition and some explaininess going on in the beginning that you kind of have to get through to enjoy the movie. But once you're past that, if you can pay attention long enough to get into the movie, it's so much fun. Honestly, like in the Hollywood world we live in, where like there's just nothing but sequels and prequels and adaptations,
Superhero movies.
Yeah, exactly. Like adaptations of comic books and books and all this crap. I love how Christopher Nolan continues to be someone who's kind of ambitious and imaginative and comes up with these cool movies that are pretty original. And I really loved that about this movie. It's got some great action sequences and set pieces that are just so much fun to watch. The score is great. I mean, it's the typical Nolan stuff you hear of like the
Yeah.
wans and that there's a lot of that, but that's always, I don't know, it's always good to me.
Obviously, Robert Pattinson again.
Oh,
Amazing.
Another
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson is
Busy
kind of the
year.
Yeah, Robert
Busy,
Pattinson-
busy year.
he's been in a lot of stuff. He was like the co-lead of the movie. He did a fantastic job. He was a great
Mhm.
character. Kind of like I think he plays a member of Tenet. And he's kind of like the liaison for the protagonist to kind of help him
Yeah.
understand what the inverted world even is, because it's pretty crazy stuff when you get into it. But
I liked the movie a lot though. I saw it as well, and I did like it. It was confusing to grasp at first, kind of. I did end up watching part of it a second time to better understand. And
did you actually? So you saw the
Yeah.
ending and stuff?
yeah, I
'cause-
I finished it, and
Cool.
I did like it. I did like it. The fight scenes where they went through it the first time, and then later on in the movie they went back from a different perspective. That was so fucking cool. That was like one of my favorite parts about it. Just the cool ass fucking choreographed action scenes.
Yeah, all the
Yes.
inversion, like all the
The inversion, yeah.
Oh my god, the how I don't know how it was filmed.
was
The
fun.
fact that like there were people moving forward and then people moving backward. I don't know how he did that, but it was just awesome to see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
whatever.
like an idiot and it was actually really simple, but it just seems complicated to me because I don't know how movies are made. But
Mhm.
it was really cool.
Yeah, it was visually fun at least. I don't know if I saw a few reviews where they talked about the audio problems or something. Where
Oh yeah, so I guess
how did you feel about that? Because I agreed to an extent. I heard a lot of like, it felt like it didn't
What
stop.
are you talking about? I don't know about this. What's with the audio problems?
Some of the music, it just seemed like ceaseless. I don't know. It seemed like it just never stopped or something.
No, so the audio problems people are talking about is when some people saw this in theaters and they felt that the sound of mixing in the theater, either it was the theater or the sound mixing from the post production, was off. They felt like some of the music was too loud to hear the dialogue from the characters. But I watched a copy online and I had subtitles, so I don't remember having that problem. Maybe I would maybe have to watch it again without subtitles to see if that was a problem, but I never encountered that issue.
I'm sure you
But
paid
yeah,
for it, of course, right?
Absolutely, I always support directors and their endeavors, no matter how hard it is to go see movies during COVID-19.
Of course.
No,
I believe you
moving
could
on.
have purchased it on Amazon Prime, and I'm sure that's where you found it. So
I absolutely did.
That's great.
But yeah, so great action movie. There were some plot twists in the movie that were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I said, all the action sequences were really creative and fun. There's a really great action sequence in an art storage facility where they have to move
Oh
from
yes,
room to room.
yes.
where
One,
it
one
was
of my
probably the best.
favorite scenes. Well, yeah, one of
It
my
was-
favorite scenes.
It was so good. The idea was that various rooms are being filled with this gas that causes them to not be able to breathe in there. So they have to move from room to room in different intervals, holding their breath. At one point, they almost don't make it out of the room, and like
Yep.
they're holding their breath for as long as they can. It was really fun, and
that was gripping.
yeah, that was really great. And also this movie even if this movie was bad, I think this would have been in my top 5 just because of the phrase that I heard in this movie. The phrase is temporal pincer movement. That phrase is amazing. Like temporal pincer movement. I've never heard that in my life. I love that so fucking much.
Yes, a good
Need to learn
reason
about
to
it.
put anything in the top 5, or really.
Yeah. True.
Honestly. But yeah, Christopher Nolan just does it again, honestly. Number
Christopher
4.
Nolan, if you want to come on as well.
Christopher.
Yeah.
You
We'd
know
love
what?
to have you. We'd love
Great, you know
to
what?
have you.
Great segue, Ashton. Next week, everybody, our special.
Christopher Nolan has actually agreed to step on with us.
Both Jake Gyllenhaal and Christopher Nolan. All right. I guess Ashton, you're up next for your number 4.
Yes. So my number 4 is a movie that I believe all of us saw, and it is The Sound of Metal, or just Sound of Metal.
Oh,
Yes.
great!
It's-
Actually, great movie.
Yes.
Very good.
So the
Very
reason I picked this movie is that it touched me very much because of having a brother that deals with a disability of the senses. So like just watching somebody go through losing a major sense or one of the senses, and just him dealing with it and not wanting to come to realization that he will, lose the sense and that there's really not much he could do about it. And
Do you want to give like just a quick rundown of the synopsis for people who haven't seen it?
yeah, he's just a drummer and he loves music. He goes around with kind of like a gypsy nomad type thing in living in the van life, going from he
Gig
plays
to
in
gig.
a band, yeah, gig to gig. He plays in a band with his girlfriend. As he's playing throughout one night, he ends up he can't hear anything, loses his hearing, goes to the doctors. They tell him that he's deaf and that he needs to stay away from loud music, but he obviously can't. So he just
Yeah,
continues
just
to play.
life.
Yeah, he continues to play for a little, and then he ends up finding a community of the hearing impaired, to where the whole community is deaf. And so he, at first, doesn't want to go in, but his girlfriend kind of pushes him to because he kind of can't live. He's not used to it, not used to his surroundings being deaf. It's very new to him.
Hmm.
So this community takes him in, and then from there he has to learn about the loss of hearing, really, and just learning how to come to his senses that like that's
Yeah,
that's
it's reality.
He's deaf now. Yeah.
That was the audio production of that movie was crazy. Like the way.
Yeah,
it-
yeah, sure, yeah, yeah,
in and
yeah,
out.
Chase.
You love it.
That was one thing I loved the movie, but Chase said that like the sound production on it
That's
was
what I wanted to say
phenomenal.
right now.
But
That's what I
if you just listen to that, he's deaf, so you
Yeah,
you and him and the viewers hear nothing. So
It's pretty easy to have
Um,
great sound production when there's no sound. But yeah,
Yeah.
good job, Chase. Great take. Um,
yeah.
Absolutely despicable comment.
Yes, the lead
Absolutely.
character is Riz Ahmad, and he also, he played in two highly rated movies this year.
Oscar nom.
One, being Sound of Metal, and another great recommendation is Mowgli Mowgli. Just for anybody out there looking for another Riz Ahmad, Riz Ahmed, is it Ahmed?
Riz Ahmed.
Riz
yeah,
Ahmed movie.
Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my number 4. Check it out.
Yeah, that was honestly a great movie. That was so like grounded and real.
Amazon
and, like,
Prime, if anybody wants
So
to
emotional.
check it out. Sound of Metal.
Yeah, that was a great fucking movie.
Yeah, beautiful take, Ashton. Great choice, honestly. Not gonna lie. Over to
Yeah, I
my
think that-
four, which is objectively better though.
here we
Straight
go.
straight out of Pixar Studio, everybody, and that is that's right, Soul. What a fucking great movie. What a fun, uplifting movie for this depressing ass year. Everything about Soul was fucking phenomenal. The animation was great. Jamie Foxx's voice acting was fucking great. Tina Fey, everything was hilarious. But what Soul is about, after landing a gig of a lifetime, New York jazz pianist suddenly finds himself trapped in a strange land between Earth and the afterlife. So basically, it follows this adult. He's a music teacher. His name is Joe, in what is a rather depressive life, where he hasn't really done the work that he's wanted to do, which is play music. He's kind of been sidebarred to be a music teacher in like a school where they don't really care that much. Finally gets a gig playing music in the big leagues, kind of, and he actually dies on the way home. He just fucking dies. He falls in what do you call that?
A manhole.
Storm drain.
Manhole. He falls in a fucking manhole.
Stormhole.
I wonder how
Manhole?
much.
Yeah, manhole.
I don't live in a city. I wonder how much of a worry that is, though. How much?
I think that's only a worry in like
Yeah.
Warner Brothers cartoons. I think that's really
Yeah.
only where
Sure,
that's a
they
worry.
have precautions
like
on
all the
like,
time.
blocking stuff off like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge lawsuit.
Yeah, why was
Oh my god, you're suing the city immediately.
But yeah, he ends up dying, and he goes to this really like fantastical, like in between
Wow.
world where it's just so colorful and well animated and fun and like
Lots of blue.
lots just visually appealing. I don't even know, but yeah. And he ends up trying to make it back. The long and short of it, he has to try and make it back to his body, and he can't do so without the help of a few select funny characters, like voiced by Tina Fey, number 22, which was really fun. And the weird like gypsy hobo guy, I forget his name. Bone, do you remember his name?
Oh, was it like Stormwind or
So, I forget his name, but
it was an amazing. Yeah, I forget
Yeah,
his name.
my kid loved that movie.
it was so fun though. Yeah, it was so exciting, and
Yeah.
it's funny that it tackles such like a genuine
adult
existential
topic.
problem as like what the fuck the meaning of life is, and they like talk about trying to find their spark and like the thing that makes life important and worth living. It's like, I don't know, it's important, I guess, to talk about that, and it was fun that they made it into such a like a whimsical little.
I think it's about him going on his life, trying to obviously live his life, or waiting for his life to start, waiting for him to get that dream job, all that stuff, and not knowing that if he just lived in the moment, his life has already started.
Exactly. That's really what the core of the story is just
Well, yeah.
people spend too much time searching for their meaning for life
Yeah.
instead of actually just enjoying living itself. Like that's such a beautiful message. I loved how like when, his job when he goes to the afterlife, he gets stuck as a mentor to this young soul. I can't believe Chase, you suck at explaining.
And it's
plots
good
of
because
movies.
he's also in real life. He was a school a
There's a
teacher.
lot to explain.
A teacher, yeah.
A lot to explain.
So he ends up being a teacher too in multiple places.
Yeah, he goes to the afterlife after dying, but he ends up through some shenanigans going into this other plane of existence, which is like, I guess you could call it a before life.
Yeah, his
like,
goal is to try and get back, to not
right
be dead.
before, I think.
Because he doesn't want to be dead. He's almost got his dream job. He's one step closer to getting his dream job, and he happens to die. So of course he wants to go back.
Hell yeah, especially if you're still like conscious and like still a person, and you're just like, I'm just in the afterlife. I'm gonna do everything I can to get back there.
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
and it was
Soul
cool
was
that
absolutely amazing.
it was cool that 22's purpose or whatever she found, her
Who's
spark,
22?
just Tina Fey, her character.
Oh, okay.
The soul that he ended up meeting, that was supposed to mentor him, but vice versa, blah blah. It was cool that her spark, so to speak, was just living itself as well, like what you said, and how that's kind of like the purpose of the whole thing is not finding a purpose, but kind of just living.
Yeah, like 22 was like 22 was like an unborn soul that has yet to go to Earth, and Joe was supposed to be the mentor for her to help her find out what her personality was like, what her spark would be, what she would love in life before she's born. But through some plot details, she ends up on Earth in Joe's body with Joe as well. And as she's living life, she's never been on Earth before. She hasn't been born yet, so she's living life in Joe's body, and she's just living life. She doesn't have a purpose or anything, but she's still loving it. And she finds out that I think through her, Joe realizes, oh, it's not about like finding her spark. She just loves life. She loves living, and that's what I need to adopt for myself. And yeah, it through being instead of mentoring her, she ended up kind of inadvertently mentoring him.
Yep.
So cool.
Very well said.
It was fun. It was fun. It was fun all around. I liked the Terrys and the Jerry. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh yes, Terry was my guy, dude.
Which one was the sneaky guy?
Everyone. All of the people are Jerry's, but he was Terry.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, the like extraterrestrial god creature things that are like quantum creatures. I don't even know what the fuck they are.
He's basically an accountant for the afterlife, and he's a boss motherfucker. I love him.
They were fun. The whole thing was really exciting. I liked it a lot. I was really trying to figure out and weigh if I liked Soul more than Onward this year, and I had to go.
Honestly, like that's what Pixar does. Pixar is great at like making these really stunning and emotional animated movies that like I remember you said, Ashton, that your kid really loved it, and that's what they do best. Like they'll make a fun movie because it's a fun animated movie, so kids are gonna like it anyway. They just get to look at the fun shapes and colors on the screen.
Yep.
But then the adults get all the deep themes and meaning behind the movie, and like
it was honestly, also a dig at Chase for putting a child's movie on his top 5, but it's all good.
I will defend that to the death. Soul is one.
No, it's very like when I watching it, I was like, wow, this is more of an adult movie.
It is.
Yeah. There is no childish themes in this movie whatsoever. It is
most
an entirely
Pixar, there's
adult
really
movie.
Not Up, especially Up. When you deal with.
It kind of reminded me of Inside. It kind of reminded me of Inside Out in the way that it was like kind of like really real themes that were.
Oh yeah, Inside Out is extremely complex and deep, and like any child is gonna miss every theme in Inside Out.
Not my son. He really understands.
Well, Adam is a genius. Adam was actually around, I think, during the Garden of Eden. Was he not? Was he born in Babylon?
Let's just say he's very biblical.
Great.
He is
great ties.
biblical. Oh man. But yeah,
Nice.
that's a great choice, Jay.
Number
Thank you.
3.
Over to 3. Number 3.
Oh, we're on 3 already. God damn. Okay.
Oh, let's do
What
it.
is mine? What was my number? Oh yes. Okay, so my number 3 fought very hard for the number 1 spot actually, but
What?
You
but
sure
like
did.
even I'll honestly say I think my number 3 is probably the best movie on my list, but I don't go by the best movie necessarily. I just go by how entertaining and how much fun I enjoyed the movie. That's really what I go for these rankings. But
Absolutely.
number 3 is Promising Young Woman. I don't have you guys
Yes.
either of you seen this movie?
Yes.
I don't know. No, I did not. I did not see it.
Chase, you
Hey,
said
let
you
me-
saw this?
Actually, wait. I don't know if I did. I think I saw Pieces of a Woman. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Promising. I did read about this and I did want to see this though. You may continue.
So yeah, Promising Young Woman stars Carey Mulligan, an actress I've never heard of before, but I mean, I'm never gonna forget her at this point because she's absolutely amazing. But this movie is about her character, Cassie, and Cassie is kind of haunted by this tragedy in her past. It didn't happen to her, but it happened to her best friend. During college, her best friend was raped by a man at a party, and essentially it was filmed by all of the men there observing it. It's total tragedy. Her
Yeah.
friend eventually commits suicide, and now the movie takes place in the present day where Cassie essentially takes revenge on the predatory men that cross her path. Her ritual is to go out every night, or at least often enough, to local bars and pretend that she's hammered drunk in order to essentially lure the men that are disgusting enough to
my
coerce
God.
a drunk girl into coming
Odin,
home
I
with them.
did. Just to cut you off, I did fucking see this. I knew I fucking saw it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Bo Burnham's in it. Yep, I did see this.
Bo Burnham is in this movie, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, she gets drunk and has men coerce her into coming home with them, but little do they know she's actually the one concocting this plan. She wants to go home to them to essentially get revenge on these types of men that did this to her friend. You don't actually see what she does to these men every time she goes home with them, but context clues lead you to believe that she's either beating the living shit out of them or traumatizing them by torturing them mildly. I don't think she doesn't commit any murders or anything. The movie isn't that cartoon. It's not that cartoonish. It's more realistic. As if she was murdering these men, she'd be caught and sent to jail. But it's still fantastic. It's this really interesting character piece on what a lot of women go through nowadays. It's pretty relevant. Cassie, the actress rides this line of being very cold and very distant. From just basically what she's suffering through to all her friends and her family. But when she's, concocting her plans to get revenge on these various people, she's filled with so much fury and so much vengeance under her skin. And that comes off really interesting plans that she devised to get revenge on these people.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a fun movie. And she ends up catching feelings though for one of the men that she tried taking out, or just a random man, I think it was. Played by Bo Burnham.
Yeah. Bo Burnham was awesome.
That relationship kind of causes problems then, because as she's going about her nightlife of going out and pretending to be drunk and getting revenge on these people, she actually ends up seeing Bo Burnham out one night. The romance, forget what his name is, Ryan in the movie. I think it's Ryan.
Ryan, yeah, I think so.
Seeing him, and there's a whole kind of relationship problem there. I liked the movie though too. It was really fun.
I think you might be remembering it wrong. I'm not sure. I don't. She might see him. Oh, yeah, she sees him one night when she. Yeah, so I thought you meant that she sees Bo Burnham doing something bad, but Bo Burnham catches her in her ritual.
Sorry,
He's like, well, what the fuck? I thought we were seeing each other. Why are you going out with these men? Yeah.
And what a complicated situation that is to explain your fucking way out of.
But yeah, this was a great movie. I loved even just the color palettes of the movie. So many scenes were so glossy and colorful and almost candy coated, and I thought that really juxtaposed well against the really dark subject matter. The fact that this movie looked so glossy and colorful, I really loved that. The only thing that probably pulls this down for me is the ending of the movie, which I won't spoil or anything. I just felt like I liked the ending. I enjoyed it. I just maybe expected to go in a slightly different direction. That I think I would have liked it more so. But so maybe that's why it doesn't make my number one spot. But still, this movie is almost flawless. It was so damn good. I loved it. But yeah, I won't gush over it
It was
anymore.
exciting. It was definitely, yeah, like a different movie, especially. It didn't feel like a remake or anything. It was like an original kind of
Oh
idea.
yeah, it's so relevant. I couldn't help but sympathize with Cassie the entire movie. I wanted her to get revenge on every single person that wronged her and her friend when they were in college. It was great.
Yeah, I think she just traumatized them. I think that was her goal. Whatever she could do to traumatize them in some way.
Yeah, like I think
I don't think
yeah,
she
exactly.
fucking like hurt them or killed them. Yeah, she might have like mildly tortured them.
I think she
Yeah,
definitely physically hurt them because of a scene at the end of the movie. You see the lengths she's willing to go. I think she definitely would have drawn
yeah,
blood off of the
that's
people
true.
that she went home with for sure.
Yeah, that was a good movie though. I liked it.
It was so
Paige really enjoyed that one too. She loved that one.
that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Good
that's my
review.
number
Good
three.
review.
Top made the top three.
Made
Great
the
movie.
top three. Very important, very crucial and pivotal place to be.
Yeah,
The
Hell
course,
yeah.
of course. That's why my number 3 is I'm no longer here.
I knew this would be in your top five. I wasn't
thought it was
sure.
gonna be in there too.
I wasn't sure, but I'm like, okay, it's a foreign language movie, a little indie
Figured.
movie. Like, oh, I knew this was good. Oh yeah. Okay.
Very
Makes
well
sense,
done.
makes sense.
Very well done. It follows a young street gang in the heart of Mexico. Their gang isn't violent at all, even though all the surroundings around them are obviously violent, dealing with the cartels and everything. And in their free time, what they do for fun and what they do as a gang, it's more of a lifestyle, is that they dance to like this slowed down cumbia music.
Cumbia.
And
Cumbia.
it goes around with them. It's a lot of long shots of them dancing, just enjoying their time. When they're dancing, it's more of like that they're free, no matter what their surroundings are. And the lead character, he's the gang leader, and he kind of looks after all of them. Like a lot of them don't have much, so they have him as like a role model, as a gang leader in some way. And he ends up getting involved with a little situation to where he has to leave the country. And it's just about him trying to leave someplace to where he doesn't want to leave, but he has to. And he leaves and goes up to New York City and tries to work, tries to just fit in. But the way he dresses and everything, it's different, as some would say, and so he kind of doesn't fit in, but he's not willing to change because that's who he is. He loves what he is, loves what he's from, and it just goes about him trying to survive again. A lot of my movies are all about survival. I'm a big survival kind
Survival
of
of the
guy.
fittest.
And
Darwinism shit.
but I loved the music. This is a good movie with great sound production, as Chase knows nothing about.
I know everything about
But
it.
I think it deals with a lot of like different aspects. So, like you could get a lot of out of it. Like I know all three of us watched it, and I know like at the end we all kind of had different meanings on what he was kind of feeling.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
yeah. I thought this was actually a really good movie. I really loved how like you said he didn't really fit in New York City. Obviously, he's not from there, and he's a total
But
outcast.
which is weird because New York is it's known for having every culture, and even then, he couldn't fit in.
Exactly. I thought and it was kind of cool because he is kind of I don't think he's kind of just an outcast by nature. He's a member of like a very anti-conformist subculture, so he doesn't
mhm.
really fit in Mexico. He
Yeah,
only
even
fit in
yeah,
he only fit in with his friends that shared his same subculture. He didn't fit in with anyone else in
yeah.
Mexico. Even when the gang leaders tried to induct him into like the cartels, he wasn't having it. He wasn't really on good terms with his family either. And
Yeah.
going to New York, he was an outcast there too. He just didn't really fit in anywhere, and it was kind of tough to see that struggle from him.
When he was going to New York and couldn't fit in there, and then also like even in Mexico, him not fitting in, it was like like even that, just that little group, that little gang, like it's almost like he had a family, but like they were his true family, and
Yeah,
at the end, that's all he really wanted was to be back with his family.
it's such a sobering look at like the state of Mexico today and the grip that the cartels have over the like country.
And that's what I
about
loved, that
Yeah.
it wasn't like a Mexico cartel all about drugs movie. You know, it was
exactly.
it
It's
was
really
more
about like
deeper
an
than that.
asylum seeker. It's about like an immigrant crossing the line to escape
Yep.
the tyranny of the cartels and to
Yeah.
try and just kind of live his life the best way he could. And it's a reality that a lot of people have to suffer through and that most Americans don't actually have to see.
Yeah.
And,
Shout out to us. Lucky us, I guess.
number
Yeah, of
three,
course.
great number three, Ashton. That was a
Thank
good
you.
one
Yeah,
right
not
there.
bad. Great. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. My number three, I don't know if you guys saw this. Released in December to Netflix. It's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
I did
Oh
not, but
my
I'm a
fucking
huge
God.
fan of
Yeah, about it.
Annalise Keating. I don't know if you know who that is, but
No.
How to Get
Oh.
Away with Murder.
Who is that? Is that the director of the movie or something?
No, it's the I don't know her name. It's Ma.
That's Viola Davis.
I was
Viola
gonna say,
Davis.
that's
She's the
Viola
lead
Davis.
character in How to Get Away with Murder, Annalise Keating, and
Yeah.
phenomenal acting on.
Yeah, I liked her a lot in this.
Yeah, Viola Davis is awesome. But this movie was garbage. But go on.
Odin, you're dumb. Tensions rise when trailblazing blues singer Ma Rainey and her band gather at a recording studio in Chicago in 1927. So, what I genuinely fucking loved about it wasn't some grandiose like adventure or anything. It was just these people showing up to record at a fucking studio one afternoon, and it was dramatic and well shot, and it was exciting. And that's what I liked about it. There was drama from Chadwick Boseman's character, who did phenomenal in this, Levy.
Levy, yeah. Rest in power to Chadwick Boseman, man. Rest
Of
in
course.
power.
Reston, yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Last kind of footnote role that he's going to be remembered on, I guess. I don't know whether you disagree with the movie being good. You have to agree that his role in this was fucking phenomenal. I think he did amazing. One of my favorite things about this was the banter between the band. It was just like 4 or 5 guys. Who were they? Glenn Turman, who played Toledo, Coleman Domingo was Cutler, Michael Potts was Slow Drag, and obviously Chadwick Boseman. And they just show up. They begin practicing. You get to know these people, and it's just a lot of back and forth and banter between them. And you feel like you already know them within moments of meeting them. It's just like wonderful back and forth between these people. And then there's drama when Ma Rainey shows up. And there's this whole back and forth. There's this whole dialogue between Viola Davis being a woman of color working for the white man in the studio, and it was really dramatic.
You're a white man, if I'm not
I am a
mistaken,
white
correct?
man.
Okay.
I am a white man, you know.
Okay, just double checking.
I am a white man, and they treated people of color very poorly in the 1920s. Obviously, still today, but it opened a great dialogue about that, the dynamic there, and then there was Chadwick Boseman's narrative where he was like this troubled performer who had this new style, and he was in Ma Rainey's band, and he wanted to stray from her plans and kind of play her new music, which the studio people agreed with, and it was just dramatic. It was so exciting, and Bohden is wrong about it being bad, guys. He truly is. Very
So I don't think it's a bad movie. Honestly, I can't really say because I could not make it past the first 15 minutes, so I don't know
That's
if it's bad.
insane.
Really, like I said earlier, I'm a big Tarantino fan, and I'm all because of that. I'm a big dialogue fan. I love good dialogue. I think that's really all a good movie. That's really all it needs. And honestly, them talking in that room in the beginning where they're setting up the
Wow.
recording session, I was they're back and forth. I was just like, I'm already sick of the movie. I don't care.
I felt entirely the opposite. I was invited in by that dialogue. That dialogue was very wonderful. I could listen to those fucking guys talk all day. I was happy to listen to them talk. Wow, I can't believe you got the exact opposite feeling.
I think it was because I love character movies. I don't care about a story. If it's got good characters in it, I'm going to enjoy the movie. And I think it's because they throw us into a dialogue scene, an extensive dialogue scene in the beginning of the movie with characters we don't even know. And I'm sure maybe we learn more about them as the movie goes on, but to just hear them shoot the shit from characters I don't give a shit about and dialogue I don't give a shit about, I just couldn't continue the movie. I was just not feeling it.
Well,
Maybe I checked out too soon, but
you did. You checked out much too soon, Bohden. You checked out much too soon.
Hey,
much
maybe
too soon.
maybe
It was very.
I
maybe-
don't believe you can have a say if you only watch 15
You
minutes.
can't
of
have
it.
a say.
No,
Absolutely
that's
no
what
say.
I'm saying.
Rejected.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't say it's a bad movie. It just
Good.
didn't pull me in. 15
Yeah,
minutes.
good. You
or
can, I
however
don't think.
long
I
it is.
don't. I don't
Good,
even
you
think
can't
you
say
could
it.
give a
As long as you
review,
acknowledge,
like-
as long as you acknowledge, you can't say that.
I think you.
Actually,
I think you
I'm
can
gonna-
only
you know what?
say it's a movie. Like,
You know
yeah,
what? I'm
it's a
gonna go
movie.
ahead
I
and-
know of it.
I got. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind. This was a bad movie, everybody. Chadwick Boseman
Rejected.
totally fell flat.
Immediately
Chadwick
rejected.
Boseman should only be playing people named Black Panther. That's what he is best for.
Wow.
Wow, that is
Fucking
okay.
brutal.
And Chase, I
That's an
almost
edit.
screamed at you when you said that this is going to be a performance that Chadwick's remembered for. I'm sorry, he's going to be remembered as T'Challa, the Black fucking Panther.
I said a great.
Shut your
I said
mouth.
it was a
I'm
good.
pretty sure
footnote
he
to leave
played
his
Jackie
career on.
Robinson. So let's not get a hold of
Wow.
yourself on the Black Panther. Jackie Robinson was phenomenal.
I'm sorry. Was that a movie about a sport nobody likes or watches or something like that? Is that what that
Baseball.
was?
I'm pretty sure it's one of
Pastime.
America's
Pastime. That's what
pastimes, of
that's
course.
what every loser says when they have to defend baseball. Oh, you mean America's pastime? You know what else was America's pastime? Jim Crow laws and slavery. We're done with that bullshit.
And
ass.
this is very progressive. After those laws, for Jackie Robinson to be able to play in the MLB. Okay.
How about we talk about the fact that Babe Ruth was breaking records before black people were allowed to play? How about we talk about that?
I mean, look at the people he was playing. They look like me, 120 pounds soaked, while this dude's 300 hundo. Like,
gotta
just
say that
knocking
was
balls out of the park.
I gotta say that was not my joke. That was a Daniel Tosh joke. I love that bit, so I just want to add it. Just so everyone knows, I am not
Very good
stealing that joke.
citation. Daniel Tosh, hey, come on the podcast, man.
Yeah, you could easily come on
Wow.
the podcast.
Great segue, Chase. Speaking of Daniel Tosh, next week.
Surprise guest, Daniel Tosh.
man.
All right, so Bohden, number 2, the infamous
Oh my God, are we
two,
getting
number two.
into the top twos already?
This
Oh
is
my God.
extreme. This is very sensitive territory.
Oh,
These are-
this
for
is
me,
tense.
For me, my top 5, my 3 through 5 fluctuated consistently up until the last hour until we recorded. But one and two have been fixed for me
My number 2, I don't even think any of
since
you
I
have
saw that.
seen, and I know for a fact Chase probably didn't see it.
All right. So number 2. Wow, number 2 already. This is big. This is tense, boys. All right. So now my number 2. Luckily I don't have to spend a lot of time on it because one of you have said it already. One of you has extensively disrespected it by not praising it enough, but I won't. We don't need to go into detail because we already said it. I'll just add a few things. My number 2 is Soul by Pixar.
Yeah.
Soul, you did not praise this movie enough. But like we said, we already went over it, so I don't need to go too much into it. Just a stunning movie, so incredible, transcendent fucking themes to talk about. But one thing to add that I didn't hear you talk about, I love to just even something as small as the name of this movie and the theme of jazz. I think the theme of jazz as a genre permeates this movie so much. The name Soul, soul is such a representative theme in jazz music. The core message or a core theme of jazz is improvisation. And I think the idea of improvisation in life is also so important and so representative in the movie. The idea that you don't want to be rigid and structured in life as to be trapped in a routine. You want to be flexible and carefree and allow yourself to live life and improvise. And I thought that was such an important part of Soul. So my number 2 was Soul. I don't think we need to talk about it anymore.
That was a
It's
good point
absolutely
there.
Yeah,
fucking
again, my
stunning.
son loved that movie.
Great. Yeah. Once again, Ashton's son really loved it, especially the second time around.
Shout out to Adam. I'm sure he would have it in his top 2 as well. Also, we didn't talk about the animation, but Pixar always nails their animation.
Nails it. It
Like,
gets
I love-
better and better
like,
every
always
year.
do.
It gets better.
Pixar-
I don't even know how. Soon it's gonna be just real.
No, you're actually right. It really does. It almost does get better, and not just that it gets realistic. It's that they nail human emotions and expressions.
Oh my God! Have you
They're-
watched
in
the
their-
new Incredibles? Have you watched the new Incredibles?
Incredibles 2, yeah, absolutely. It was amazing.
Just from the animation from the first one to the second one is mind blowing on how they get just the architecture of houses and whatever, but then the emotions on the characters, like you said, with Pixar is just phenomenal.
I never find myself just laughing at facial expressions in movies, but in Pixar, even just a facial expression will make like 22's
Yes.
facial expressions. I was laughing the whole movie. It was so Tina Fey did really great in that fucking movie.
Yeah,
But
she was
yeah,
hilarious.
that's my number two. Just easily the best animated movie of the year. I urge
Oh,
everyone to
for
go
sure.
see it.
For sure. I agree with that.
Um, Ashton, number two. I can't wait to
My
see what
number
kind of.
two is
Goes.
Another Round,
Oh,
Ooh,
a
interesting.
phenomenal Danish
nice.
movie featuring Mads Mikkelsen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Should we just end it there because I'm pretty sure the only reason it's that high is because Mads Mikkelsen is in this movie
No,
for you.
no, okay, so this movie, Another Round, it takes place
Wait,
in
hold on. You do know he wasn't playing Hannibal Lecter in this movie, right?
yes, which was
What?
very upsetting. I thought like I thought at some point, it was gonna like just turn into Hannibal
He would
season
start eating people.
yeah. But turns out it's not about Hannibal, and it takes place in Denmark, and it follows four teachers who are also they seem to be best friends, and they all have different lives, kids, and just going through. And Mad's character, he just happens to be not happy at all.
Yeah.
It seems to me that he in the beginning of the movie actually doesn't drink that much, and then they come up with an idea, or no, not an idea. There's actually a report. I forget what college it comes out of, but there's an maybe it's an actual report or whatever. But to sum it up, this guy says that if you have your alcohol level at a certain amount, that you can actually like it's almost like microdosing like drugs and stuff to how they say that if you take a little of something it can benefit your brain activity and all this. So I believe
Interesting.
they do point seven alcohol level, so they drink and try to maintain that throughout the day, and they actually start to see like amazing results. Like he's never like Mads is a teacher for I believe English or so, maybe history, and he goes through and like when the teacher like the kids they don't like him in the beginning because he's a boring teacher. He looks depressed, and once he starts
Yeah.
doing this experiment with his friends, he starts to become a better teacher, more interactive with the kids. The kids end up loving him, so they end up going through all the other teachers. One's a gym teacher, and they just end up going through and really like benefiting off of the point seven. But then they decide to let's see if we could push it a little further. And as they go through the movie, they try to get a higher alcohol level, and obviously
It's a slippery slope.
and they become raging alcoholics in a way. Not wouldn't say alcoholic because they end up going through and realizing that they should probably stop because it's bad for their health. But as they're going through the drinking aspect of it, it's very funny. Like there's a lot of funny moments, like comedy wise, but at the same time, it does lead into just the drama of having a family, and it's kind of more of a selfish thing to where they're drinking and not really caring about their surroundings and their family. They're kind of doing it to solely benefit themselves,
Yeah.
and you end up seeing that throughout the movie.
That's a scary
My
thing to chase. Sorry, Button. Uh, that's a scary thing to chase after all the time. Is like just a constant state of like satisfaction and happiness.
Yes.
It's like you can't always feel that way, and it's like you can't always
Yeah, it's with
try to
any
feel it.
any substance, any alcohol, you try to chase that first time or the feeling or whatever. And with alcohol, you can maintain it a little easier, by just drinking a little more when needed. And it's weird because at first like you're like, "Oh, wow, yeah, maybe I should try this." And then you're like, "Oh, yeah, probably not. Probably not. That's how alcoholics are formed."
Chase, have you seen this movie?
No, I have not. I wanted to, and I
So like
too.
Ashton, is this like what's like the message of this movie? Is it like a cautionary tale on like overindulgence or like alcoholism?
Um
Is that what it's supposed to be? Like
Yeah, I would say so. It's about that, and it's about like just I read something that to where Denmark actually has like the highest rate of teenage drinking in the world, who are like 15-year-olds or like almost
Oh.
alcoholics and stuff. So it could be playing on like just alcohol in Denmark in general, to where it's a very common thing, and to where, because like it does play into where Mads doesn't, like I said, doesn't really drink in the beginning, but his friends, like they're all into drinking or whatever. But as soon as somebody mentions an experiment of some sort, Mads is into it. Like, okay, this is it. Like, I will do it because it's an experiment.
Ah, that's
Um,
interesting.
so like just and like it's the ending is very, very uplifting to me in a way. It's
Oh,
I
I was
liked it
actually
a lot.
I was wondering, is this like, I feel like there's two routes this could take. Either their lives end in ruin from their alcoholism,
See,
or
that's
like
what I thought,
maybe
is
they
that it was going to
learn.
be a very depressing movie, but since it follows, it does go into and follow the four people there. So obviously there's different emotions with all four people on during the ending of them
Cool.
and throughout the movie. It plays on like different forms of just the person of drinking, on how they get drinking, because they obviously, like, some of them can handle their alcohol, some of them get to a point to where they get drunk too easily. Like it's very enjoyable.
It's awesome. I also love that,
Very
like,
fun.
I don't know how recent this is, but I noticed a lot of like foreign movies are getting a lot more like notoriety and getting more
Well, they
popular.
usually do, because they're like, there's movies other than America, and there's other
No, I
awards other than the Oscars, Boden.
wait, what? No, I just mean like, no, I know that there are other big movie industries and stuff. I just mean like they don't often get marketed in the United States as heavily. And
Yeah.
I think
That's why you
like,
can
I
rely
like
on
seeing
me.
that.
And that's why you can rely on me to give you those
Ash-
obscure
yeah.
movies you will not find in Boden or Chase's reviews.
Amazing.
Ashton is our resident our tour, our tour de force art fan. Yeah, he's got all the Indian foreign shit, so that's good.
Yeah. That's cool. I really want to watch that movie though. I still have to watch it.
Amazon Prime, check it out. You can
Awesome.
rent it
Sweet.
right now.
Over to my number 2 movie. I don't know if either of you have seen it. It's a fun little film called Nomad Land.
Wow.
It's not fun
I
at
knew
all.
it
I
would be-
did not see it. I did not see
called
it. I
that
really
shit.
wanted to. I really wanted
Yeah.
to see it, but I
Yeah,
did not see it.
So it's directed by Chloe Zhao, starring Frances McDormand, who, for all intents and purposes, is the only real main actor on the screen. Everyone else is, I mean, it's supporting actors, but they're not real actors in real life. They're actual nomads
Wait,
play.
as in, wait, the movie doesn't have actors in it other than her?
So there's only one real, like, actual, like, screen actor.
Like in that regard. Which
Oh, that's really cool.
everyone else is
Yeah.
like real life nomads, actually, which I thought was
Oh wow, that's like
shit.
amazing
Yeah.
extras.
Yeah. I looked all of them up, and I heard something about it at first, and I wanted to make sure that was true before I said that. But it was. Anyway, it follows.
Do these nomads all have IMBDs though now?
Yeah, they do.
That's
So
So actually,
hilarious.
Even
that's
no
actually,
actors.
yeah, that's true. Now, by the process of them being in this movie, they now
Yeah.
have become actors and are no longer nomads.
Yeah, actually.
Wow,
They
that's
now
cool.
all live in.
They didn't think about
They
that.
all live in the hills of California, living amazing.
They're actually, yeah. Well, unfortunately, they're actually on Skid Row. They're all homeless.
Yeah. They actually made a lot of money and all blew it, and now are on Skid Row.
But after losing everything in the Great Recession, a woman in her 60s embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling modern-day nomad. So the first thing about this movie is that it is it's like a commentary on how the economy has just fucked the working class and all of us. And it's just disgusting to see people in like this age who have to live.
There's some nomads that do like it though.
There are no, I'm not.
That,
Yeah,
like, stop.
yeah.
They don't give in to society
Yeah.
and live in that van, and they go
Yep,
on.
which is a
and
big
just-
part of it. Which is a big part of what she learns to do.
Oh, okay.
It's a sobering experience, but first and foremost, that is my first comment. It was just disgusting to see that and annoying. But he spoke to me on just like a literal spiritual fucking level.
Are you going to start a foundation?
I'm thinking about it, dude, to help the nomads. No, they don't need a foundation because they're doing just fine. They're living life. And this is something I've thought about doing so much in my life, was just like pimping out a bus or just hitting the road.
Okay, so like in California, when I first moved here, from the East Coast, I was waiting on my brother to like so I could come into the house, and he happened to be up in LA at the time. I was living in Carlsbad, and so he was kind of far away, so I had to wait. I decided to go to the liquor store, buy a bottle of Jägermeister, and I happened to just be sitting on the bench drinking, and a homeless dude came up. And he ended up telling me on how he loves being homeless, that I would love it in California. He's like, I've been just, hanging out for like 7 years and I love it here. So
Yeah.
I can understand where these nomads love being on the road.
That's
Yeah, I
easy
mean,
for
there's
him
a
to say when he's homeless in California. I'd like him to try that in like New York City.
Oh
where,
yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
have,
No,
you have
that's why
actual seasons
I'll
and
be
the winter
honest.
comes
I'll be
in.
honest.
I was just thinking that too.
Homeless is a serious issue here, but I
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
give them money because I've been on the East Coast and I've seen people like on the streets, middle, like. But obviously, it has a lot to do with drugs and all that. But
Some of it does a great deal.
Well,
yeah,
it's also like
a lot of people losing their house, especially now. And now I imagine, during COVID that it's going up, the homeless rate.
it's also like a lot of veterans too.
Yes.
Veterans
Yeah.
come out of the military and have no safety net from the government. so
But
they're
it's,
completely homeless.
yeah.
I think Skid Row is the largest homeless population in.
It's all over
country.
California. I'm in I am in Southern
homeless
California, but
community.
okay, yeah, no, they have 10 cities. It's like they haven't.
Yeah, it's
I've
the
seen
biggest
it, yeah.
city in the country.
I saw that when I visited you.
Yeah, they have. They're working on new skyscrapers as we speak.
But an important distinction I do want to make is that these people are not homeless; they're just houseless, which is
Do they have
line-
vans?
Which
Like,
is a
what's
line
going on? They
delivered in
got
the
vans,
movie.
like trailers.
Yeah, they have vans and stuff. So it follows.
I wouldn't call that homeless. A home is
It
where you
follows.
make it.
Well, yeah, it follows this fucking girl, this woman who basically has lost everything, and she comes to terms with the fact that she has to live in her van, and she ends up finding this nomad community where it's these other people, these like-minded folks who kind of live on nothing, with nothing, have lost things in their own various ways. They're running from things. They're chasing after certain dreams. It's a lot of personal little looks at these relationships and these moments that are shared and built between these people who meet in these nomad communities and then depart from each other, and you kind of never see them again. And most of the movie is just that, like a sensitive look at all of those little moments, what it's like to live like that. And it was just wonderfully shot. It was so beautiful and just fucking existentially pleasing. There are so many deep messages and discussions we could have about what it means to shed your life of materialism and how the economy is fucking us and all that stuff. But it was just a wonderfully exciting movie to watch, and just so gentle and nice.
It sounds like a really good movie.
Yeah.
I like the idea of glorifying like the idea of being a traveler like that, because I mean it's not so much nowadays in modern times, but like for like literally centuries,
Yeah.
nomads who used to be called gypsies were like reviled in society. Like these
Pretty
were
sure
people
there's still
without.
gypsies. I think that's a separate thing.
A gypsy, I think, is like a derogatory term.
No, I'm
now,
pretty sure there's like official gypsies and stuff like that.
No, I think that's like a
Gypsy
slur now,
community.
buddy.
No.
That's a slur now, buddy. So maybe don't get us
think
canceled, please. That is
gypsy
literally a
is-
slur now. Please don't get us canceled.
Are you sure
But,
gypsy is a slur?
I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. You know what? You have Google at your disposal.
That's
You've
the
been using
title.
it the whole episode.
That's the title of the episode. Is gypsy a slur?
That's a perfect. We've been looking for it. Is gypsy a slur? But like, yeah, gypsies or nomads. They've always been reviled in society. These are people without communities. They've always been looked on with like kind of suspicion and unease. So it's kind of cool to
See, in Romania, there are. Oh wow, okay, are offended by gypsies.
Yeah, it's like a derogatory.
Romanians. Wow, okay. We're the real gypsies.
So we've literally, for our viewers, we made the joke that we were going to be canceled, and we did it in the first episode. Good job, Ashton.
Woo! It's over.
And he didn't even plan that shit.
Good run.
Well,
Should we even edit this?
I guess they're supposed to be called Roma or Romani.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
like is that for like roaming, like roamers? Like
Yes, I
roamers?
guess so. But Gypsy doesn't roll off the tongue, I'll be honest. But
Nomad
not
is
to
a great
offend
term.
anybody, Nomad. We'll just call
Nomad's a
him
great term, and Nomad Land is great. One of my favorite scenes in the movie was when she actually at one time went home to visit her sister, which she hasn't done in a long time, and it was clear at that moment in the movie that there was a lot of tension between them, a lot of unsaid things possibly, and just kind of just an awkward standing that they left on, I think. And so when they got back, there was this kind of tense emotional showcase between them, and that's where she delivered the line, "I'm not homeless, I'm just houseless," because her sister was trying to help her out and trying to like get her in with this realtor and go into debt, I guess, and get like a loan, and she just didn't want it. She just disagreed with it, and she at that point transformed into this lifestyle of being a nomad, which was beautiful. And yeah, I recommend you both see it.
I could relate to this movie very well because of before I left for California, I was homeless and actually taken in by Chase and Bohden. So
Yeah,
I could relate to this, especially. So I guess some would call me a gypsy, but I don't find it offensive.
yeah.
Oh my God! You might as well just say the N-word. Let's all go ahead. Say the N-word, buddy. Just say it already. Let's go.
I highly doubt gypsies have gone through any type of like, what is that?
So go ahead. How about what's the derogatory term for little people? Go ahead and say it. That's fine. That's good too. The M word. You want to say that one too?
Good.
I'm just okay. So I guess you could call me a Roma.
I've been roaming.
I think we're all spiritual nomads, like Aang from Last Airbender.
For sure, no doubt, man. Definitely, man.
I mean, personally, if I would choose a clan to belong to, I would be an air nomad. Any Last Airbender fans here? Air nomad?
Ooh,
Nope.
airbending is definitely the coolest. I think the most applicable and useful.
As you can tell, we have a lot of anime fans in this podcast.
Yes, don't worry to our fans. Eventually, we will have an anime corner for me to host.
Next week, Death Note live action review. Check it out.
It'll be 2 minutes of us just throwing up.
Yeah. It's like not even us, just audio of vomiting,
just throwing up for a few minutes.
All right, number one.
Number one.
Holy shit! Did we get here already? Are we here right now? 2020 number one best movie. Oh my god, guys, I'm nervous. Oh my god.
Oh, Bohden. Wonder Woman 84 incoming.
Wonder Woman. Birds of Prey. Get ready.
I couldn't quite pick one, so it's Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman.
Oh no!
Sadly, not enough capes.
I was gonna do Soul and Onward as both number 4.
Oh my god, that'd be funny.
Well, I did Sound of Metal and Mowgli Mowgli.
You guys have no idea how badly I wanted Wonder Woman or Birds of Prey to be good enough to get my top 5. They were good, but oh man, it's such a
wow. I thought you were serious about Birds of Prey. What is your number 1, Bohden?
My number 1 is this movie was so entertaining. It's funny. It's deep and emotional.
It's Tenet again.
I know it is.
It hits all the beats that you want a good movie to hit, and it was beyond entertaining and refreshing and amazing. My number 1 for 2020 is Palm Springs.
I knew it.
This movie is. Now, have either of you seen this movie?
No.
I have not. You've recommended it to me several times.
I have. You and Paige will love this movie. It'll be a great it's a great movie for couples.
But
I do want to watch
Vanessa and I wouldn't enjoy it.
Well, he's the one who commented saying I recommended it to him, Ashton. So yeah, I don't. You know what, Ashton? Honestly, I wasn't sure if you'd like it because they speak English in this movie, Ashton, and it's not about Malaysian. It's not about Malaysian finance brokers on a mission to crystal. Okay.
Well, I will put subtitles on it anyway.
God damn it, Ashton.
Yes, you will.
All right, Palm Springs. All right, so Palm Springs, it's a pretty simple premise, honestly. Palm Springs takes place at a wedding that's being held at this kind of hotel/resort in Palm Springs, California. Niles is the main character's name, played by Andy Samberg. He is dating one of the members of the family at this wedding. So he's just brought along because of association. That's why he's there. But unfortunately for him, he ends up trapped in a time loop and forced to repeat the same day over and over, stretching on into eternity.
Uh-oh.
Now, where the time loop movie trope has been used quite a number of times, and usually, if you're a good director and a good writer, you'll have a refreshing take on it. And the refreshing take from this movie is that it's not just Niles trapped in the loop. He eventually meets Sarah and inadvertently gets her trapped in the loop with him, giving us multiple people repeating the same day over and over again. This movie, I mean, it really excels off of Andy Samberg and this actress who I've never seen before. Her name's Christine Milioti. She plays Sarah. Their chemistry together and their comedic timing with each other is so on point. It's really just nonstop funny the entire time. And the time loop, I mean, it's used in the same way that it's used in other movies where since there's no risk and no consequences in this world, you kind of can use it to learn things about yourself and learn about your mistakes and kind of grow as a person within this vacuum of time. Niles is kind of, so at first we don't know how long Niles has been in this time loop. You can tell he's fearful of leaving the loop after Sarah is trapped in it with him. She wants to get out immediately, and he kind of tells her it's pointless, not to waste her time. She eventually accepts that she's here in this reality, and they have fun with it, and they kind of grow to love each other over time.
Very nice.
Being trapped in this world. Yeah, it's great. You see a lot of the fun time loop antics where they have no consequences. They can do all the fun, batshit crazy stuff they want. And there's a lot of that in the movie. But when it starts to get deep is when Sarah decides she's kind of sick of this and she wants to leave. And they're having this camp they're having this like camp night out where they're underneath the stars and there's a campfire and they're in the tent and they're having the conversation about their life before being trapped in the time loop. And she asks him, to tell her a story about himself, and he hesitates and he struggles to remember anything. And she's like, wait, how long have you been in the time loop? And he does not have a clue. He can't remember anything from his life. And you start to realize, oh my fucking god, how long has he actually been in this time loop? Has he been in here for like hundreds of years? Like, how long has this actually been where he can't remember anything? And you find out, oh, no wonder he's so fearful of leaving. He can't remember anything. He's become comfortable where in a world where there is no risk and no consequences. Sarah is a great character. Her shock and her bewilderment and her predicament was hilarious to see because we don't get to see Niles' immediate reaction to being in the time loop. He's already been in it for a long time at the beginning of the movie, but we see her reaction and her freak out, and that's great. She grows as a person a lot over the course of the movie. She is this kind of relatively depressed and dejected person, and she learns kind of this emotional clarity and this ability to persevere while she's been in this time loop. At one point, she tries to learn quantum physics in order to figure out how to escape the loop, and she just spends like days and days or weeks or months learning and like zooming or like skyping like professors and scientists to like learn quantum physics, and it's really funny to see. J.K. Simmons is in this movie. I don't know if you got Chase probably doesn't know that name since he's an idiot, but Ashton I'm sure knows who J.K.
How dare
Simmons
you?
is.
Yeah. I don't, but how dare you?
How dare you? J.K. Simmons, Chase, he's from Spider-Man. That's probably his most popular role where he plays
he's the fucking guy at the newspaper place. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's J.K.
I need more pictures.
J.K. Simmons is a man who Niles ended up getting trapped by accident in the time loop. Or no, actually, he got him trapped on purpose. Now that I remember right, Niles in his early stages was drunk and depressed that he's stuck in this forever. He makes a friend in J.K. Simmons and decides to get him stuck with him, which is the most evil fucking thing you can inflict on a person. But he's drunk and he's depressed, so he gets him trapped in the loop with him. And J.K. Simmons hates him for it. And every day, J.K. Simmons, you wake up where you started the day. So J.K. Simmons doesn't wake up at the resort. He wakes up in the town nearby where he lives. So he makes an effort to travel there every single day to attempt to kill Niles every time and torture the living shit out of him for traveling.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm already hooked in the movie just because Andy Samberg. Honestly, I love everything.
Andy Samberg is phenomenal. The movie is really deep. Before, if you guys have any more questions, I just want to say this one last bit because this was lost on me when I watched it the first time. I only saw a review of it afterwards, and when I saw them compare this, I was shocked. It made the movie even smarter to me. The idea of comparing, it's kind of an allegory on marriage itself because this takes place at a wedding, and the idea of being trapped in a time loop with one other person is so like representative
Oh
of
my
marriage.
God.
Oftentimes, yeah, right? Like already, it's like, wow, that's so smart. I didn't
And
even
that's
think
why
about that.
Boden's Mormon.
How dare you?
Guys, that's your number one. That's awesome. Is it that funny? I
It,
can only imagine it is because Andy Samberg is in it though. I love
yeah,
it.
it's really funny, and it's not even just Andy Samberg. Like this other actress was, I would say she did just as well, if not better,
Right.
because we kind of see, like I said, Niles has been in the loop for a long time at the beginning, so it's really more her reaction to being in the loop, in for the most part. So you get a lot of that. But yeah,
Cool.
this movie was so fantastic.
Yeah, if she
Sounds
feeds off
good.
of Andy Samberg, like you
Hulu,
said,
correct?
it's
It's on
gotta
Hulu,
be good.
correct?
It is free to stream on Hulu, which is like I can't. So many streaming service movies that are just free to watch if you have the subscription, of course, have been so good. Like streaming service movies are really upping their game when you see like a movie like this that
Well,
blows you
now
away.
they're like really the main studios, I'd say.
Especially this last year. My God.
Ashton, that's not true. Shut the hell up, please. Sick of your.
They're really like some of the best, like, because I know that's where you guys get all your movies.
All right, so
They never look for obscure movies. You feel me?
All right, what foreign film are we looking at right now?
So
hold on.
for-
What weird film did we dig up in a cave in Nigeria to find for Ashton to enjoy?
So
Like, what's this one, buddy?
I don't know if maybe Trace, you want to edit in a drum roll here. But my number one is an American film. So it is.
Whoa, wait. I'm
I didn't
sorry.
hear this.
No, it is not
Hold
a
on.
foreign movie.
Where did Ashton go? Who is on? Is this Adam on the microphone right now? Where the fuck did Ashton go?
So this is not a foreign movie. In
What do you
fact,
got
this
for
is a fiction, documentary, drama. Okay, and comedy as well.
Oh, I know. I think I know.
Wait, what the fuck is? I don't. I want to guess almost. What the hell could this be?
Is it Dick Johnson is dead?
No, it is not. But good guess. Good guess.
Wait,
So
what?
this one is called Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets.
Oh, I wanted to watch that so bad. Let's go. That looks
Wow,
good.
that's a title worthy of being on Ashton's number one. That's for fucking sure.
Yes.
Bloody
So
Nose.
this
That's good. That's
Bloody
good.
Nose, Empty Pockets is one
I've never
of
heard of
my
this in my life,
favorite
so I'm
movies
interested.
of the year. It is very relatable because it takes place in a dive bar in Las Vegas, and it films and goes throughout the last night of this bar. It's been around for a while. It is called the Roaring Twenties. It's been around for a while to where it follows the staff and basically you could say the regulars. The reason it's relatable is because my grandfather, he's a part of a club and whatever back on the East Coast, to where it is like a dive bar and whatever. And you meet a lot of crazy, strange characters going to these type of dive bars. And this one follows like the locals. I mean, the locals of obviously Las Vegas. And like, these are people that have came to Las Vegas and like, cause if you've ever gone, I don't know, I've been to Las Vegas only after moving to California because it's 4 hours away. But it's a place to where you could see people like could lose everything and be stuck there easily. Like, you know, and like that's kind of like you did get to see a lot of different people, like a lot of like old people to where the one was in the military and then like this is all I have now. Like you guys are my family. And like once this place closes down, I'm gonna have nothing. And it like the staff is very loving. There's a lot of, you could tell, a lot of drug induced people, like, and it's just a very emotional and hilarious documentary slash fiction. And it is directed by two brothers actually, Bill Ross IV and Turner Ross. So I don't know if he's related to, is Bill Ross somebody? I don't think so.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah. Maybe.
Bob Ross.
Oh yeah.
I highly doubt it though, because
Wonder
Bill
if he's
Ross
of any
the fourth.
kinship.
But this movie, I am telling you, is absolutely hilarious. But I've read different reviews to where it's just watching drunken idiots for 2 hours, and it kind of is. But like you know, like, but like I said.
Yeah,
It's relatable to me because I've seen these people, like a lot of these people, like I've heard those conversations, how like, you know, these old people who like they have nothing, like they go to a bar, drink their money away because like, you know, a lot of old timers, like they've been retired or whatever, so they're on some sort of income that they get monthly, and they go, just like because that's what my grandfather does. Gets his check and goes to the club and
Nice.
just drinks, which is understandable. What other thing does a man do? But you just get to see a lot of characters, and you kind of get deeply like attached to them because you see a lot of it's a dive bar to where a lot of people don't have anything in that. These people who come here every day, like they don't come there just because they need a place to drink. They come there because like it's the only place that will let them in.
Yeah, I pictured this when I was looking at it because I wanted to watch it. I pictured it as just like a bunch of really enticing conversations and like this looks at just a bunch of interesting people drinking and having fun. That's what it looked like to me. And that's a good movie.
Yep, that's my number one, guys.
That's kind of funny because like both of your number one and your number two are about kind of like drunken idiots.
How dare you?
No,
Disrespect.
my number one and number two.
Wait, so was this this like an A24 Studios movie?
No, I think it's an independent movie. You could stream it on Amazon Prime. You could rent it for $4.99 or buy it for $10.
Oh,
It's a good price. Not a bad price.
But I believe it's an independent. I don't think when the studios popped up, I don't think I saw anything that I remembered.
So just a little indie gem film.
Yeah, an American, just like
American indie
in
gem
Las Vegas,
film.
Nevada. Just an amazing
In the same vein of indie fun adventure films, but American made this time.
Yes, of course.
A curveball for that.
That is a curveball.
Bohden knows
wait.
one.
Hold on. Okay, I know it. So, oh man, I'm so curious. Like, what would Chase's number one be? Like,
You don't know it.
Oh,
Do you
I
think
know
it's
it.
like-
I'm thinking of ending things.
Is it like
I'm thinking of ending things. Number one. Yes. The
Fuck!
best movie of
That's
the year.
number one? Are you fucking kidding
Number
me?
one. I watched it 3 times now.
You're insane.
My wife gave it 15 minutes, just like Bohden gave.
She's wrong.
Oh,
She's wrong. Tell her to give 20 and then jump back into it. It's exciting and it's good.
dude.
You have to sit through it. If you don't understand it, watch it again. Look up a synopsis.
You know what? Hold on. Give your little intro, and then I'm gonna
So,
absolutely
what
review
the movie-
asshole.
What the movie is actually about, full of misgivings, a young woman travels with her new boyfriend to his parents' secluded farm.
Snooze.
Comes to question everything she thought she knew about him and herself. Like I said, I watched this movie multiple times, and I have to literally stress that every line of dialogue, every little gesture, everything leads up to telling you what the fuck this movie is about. They're all
Let's not forget about the sound production on this.
audio production. Fuck you.
The sound production is on point.
Bohden doesn't like it because he doesn't understand it. Now,
Oh my god.
the whole movie takes place.
Can I talk? You're attacking my character.
Spoiler alert: the whole movie takes place inside of this character's head. Now,
Wow, amazing.
yeah, very fascinating. But you wouldn't be able to tell that based on everything else about the movie.
Yeah, you definitely can't tell that.
And it's based on a book by Ian Reid, which a fantastic book apparently. But
Oh my god.
Bohden, why do you not like it? Come on,
How is this movie your
You don't
number? No,
understand- you
Devon,
don't
do you
understand
have
it.
anything else to say? Do you have anything else?
I have
to
a
say?
lot to say, but you're giggling through it, and I don't know how to talk about it when you're giggling through it.
Oh my god! Like
it's a great
dude, a movie can be all smart and complicated and
like
interesting.
Tenet,
but
Tenet.
if
But it's very dialogue
unwatchable,
driven, like a
like
lot of.
Palm Springs, where
what-
it just plays with the same fucking time trope as every other movie where it does a time loop. This
except it does it well. Like that's the thing.
no,
like,
Tenet did it well too.
what's
Tenet
the
did it all
point?
right.
What's the point of a movie being smart if it's unwatchable?
It's not unwatchable. It's exciting.
Oh my god!
Amazing. It was tense and it was frustrating. It was like you're watching this woman who you think it's about her and she's thinking of breaking up with this person. You get the monologue inside of her head and the way they talk. It's also real. And
All right. Before we get into like, I should ask, do we want to spoil what the conceit of the movie is?
I mean,
Or
I
should we
already
avoid
kind of
that?
did. Already.
Well, no, just the fact that it
said.
takes place in a person's head can be gleaned probably when they get to the parents' house and the shit starts happening. But like, should we probably shouldn't go into like the end of the movie, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I think we can. I'm excited about
If
it.
you want, it doesn't matter. It's up to you.
It's
But,
my number
here's-
one.
For anyone who hasn't seen, like, okay, oh my god, so like,
You're bad. You're dumb.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't seen this, the movie starts and they're in a car ride to they're in a car and they're talking, they're a couple, and you learn very quickly that these are two people that if you're a normal human being, you will never want to be friends with. It's really that simple. Like, they're having the most insufferable, pompous, pretentious
dare you.
conversations that you can possibly imagine. But that's fine because, oh, I'm interested. These are some weird people and people I would never enjoy talking with. Let's see where this movie goes. And then you get to their parents' house where they're a couple and the girl is meeting the guy's parents for the first time. And weird shit starts happening where there's inconsistencies and like suddenly the guy is one age and then another time he's a different age and it's like, whoa, there's weird shit going on. This movie's trippy. Is this like, what's going on here? And then all that fun stuff that's happening in the house ends when they leave the house. And now they're back in the car again. And oh boy, the bullshit conversation.
You're absolutely wrong. I'm gonna have to cut you off right there because you're absolutely wrong and stupid and dumb and bad.
Pompous,
Bohden.
pretentious conversation
Absolutely
you had
wrong.
in the beginning. You get another 20-minute scene of the same
Error.
fucking conversations,
Error.
and it's insufferable, and it
It's getting
doesn't
cut.
end. I think the movie went on for 2 hours in that car, and it didn't fucking end.
We're cutting
And I
it. We're
couldn't-
cutting it, Bohden. Oh my god. No. So I forgot to mention
couldn't-
who stars in it. It's Jesse Plemons plays Jake. Jesse Buckley.
Oh,
plays-
he's the great actor. I do love Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, Jesse Buckley plays the unnamed woman. Actually, she's named multiple times, Lucy Louisa. We'll get into that in a second. The mom plays
Holy shit.
Toni Collette. I fucking love her.
Oh, Toni Collette is phenomenal.
She's
yeah.
amazing. I've loved everything about her the last 2 years.
I will say every actor in this movie does a phenomenal job. The performances are great. I can't
David
knock
Thewlis.
any of them.
Or Thulis.
You're knocking the whole movie instead.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah,
but
I'd rather knock the narrative.
Bowden doesn't like the dialogue and he doesn't understand it, and that's.
But he's very dialogue driven like
understand
Tarantino. He's very
So-
dialogue driven like Tarantino.
I am. Thank you.
But
That's
doesn't know
different
shit
memory.
about dialogue.
So if
Understandable.
Fuck you,
if-
good sir.
So if you're like me and have good taste in movies and can actually sit through a scene, you'll notice that the dialogue is amazing.
I sat through Hateful Eight,
everything
thank
you
you very
learn later
much. I
on-
can sit through a movie.
Everything you see later on is an idealized memory or a memory that this person who's actually named, it's not Jake, it's Guy Boyd. You learn that he's actually the janitor at that school that you end up visiting later on. And everything is happening in his head. The entire adventure in the car ride is him pondering this memory. This one night he took a girl out when he was young.
Wait, he is the older version of Jesse Plemons' character, right?
Jesse Plemons is entirely a fiction. It is entirely a.
I'm sorry.
Jake isn't even his name. Jake isn't even his name. His
Wait,
name-
so he's not. I'm sorry, he's not the guy.
He is, but an idealized version of himself. Yes, it is supposed to be him,
But it's
but
it's
it's not
him,
actually
a younger
him.
him.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I thought for a second that this movie got even dumber for me if it wasn't him. Okay, okay, go on.
No, it was, but like an idealized version of himself, and
Right, like no,
it's
well,
a romanticized memory of like what would happen if this night changed differently. The title itself as well, which I fucking love, also is I'm Thinking of Anything's, where at first you're thinking, oh, it's a take on this woman who wants to break up with this boyfriend on the way to the farm, right, to meet the parents.
Right.
But really, as the movie goes on and you learn exactly what the fuck is happening, that you're kind of looking through a memory in this man's head. And if you stay and watch the credits actually afterwards for a minute, you'll see he does end up killing himself in the truck, and the movie title kind of shifts meanings then.
No, yeah, I kind of figured that all from the title.
Which I thought was really cool. And just like the book, or in the book also, which is something
that you didn't read.
I didn't read, but apparently the entire book is told in first person up until like the last chapter or a few chapters apparently, where it switches to third person. So
Wow.
it's an extremely cool take on like a film, like the changing the perspective like that. And it was done artistically well. Bohden doesn't.
I just want to say, I think Charlie Kaufman was the guy who directed this, right?
Is he related to
yeah.
Andy Kaufman?
Yes, it
the
was Charlie Kaufman.
yeah, it's actually Andy Kaufman's sister. So honestly, like the audacity for that man to think anyone would stick around for the fucking credits, let alone not leave halfway through the fucking movie, is astonishing.
Well,
It wasn't
on
long.
Netflix.
It wasn't
was on
long.
Netflix.
Don't
So
worry, guys. Stick around for the credits, and you'll get a real cool
It
Easter
wasn't
egg.
long. And this is released to Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix. I think that's where it was released because theatrical releases this year were a joke.
It's funny that Tenet's in his top 5, Chase, when there's little to no dialogue.
I'm sorry,
It's just-
no dialogue. The entire first 30 minutes of the movie is just exposition, so you already sound stupid.
Like it's literally all fighting, which is understandable.
Oh, what? There's like
And just
two-
loud,
Oh,
just
what?
loud action noises
Yeah,
in the
no, no,
background.
I don't know if
Ashton
you know
confirmed
this,
he
but there's a
didn't
lot
see
of
the
sound
movie.
problems with the movie. There's a lot of sound problems with the movie.
Ashton did not see the movie. That was proof right
Audio
there.
production.
Oh, I
Yeah, dude,
watched the movie.
Audio production was not
and
there.
I loved the movie. It was very good, but it was a lot of action. Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of it's an action movie. I don't.
Oh yeah, so like so
Oh,
all
wait,
I'm
so-
just
wait,
saying
so
is
I'm
that
thinking
you're
of anything
dialogue
different?
driven. You know, I know that you're dialogue driven when it comes to your movie choices.
I am character driven and dialogue driven for sure.
Which is,
There weren't enough capes. If Bohden, question: if Jesse Plemons wore a cape in the car, would you have enjoyed the movie more or less?
Well, a cape is good, but just would he fight crime in the cape?
Well, no reasoning, no explanation for the cape. He just has it.
Yeah, sorry. No, that I need him to first fly off into the sunset, fight some crime, and then have a superhero landing where he lands on one knee and the earth cracks beneath him. If you can do that, then this movie is a top 5 for sure.
Anyway, I'm thinking of anything's number 1
And
best.
That's when we'll have, we'll pitch that to the director for I'm thinking of ending things too. So
Wow, that
amazing
movie was-
choice, Chase.
was
amazing choice.
Thank you. Ashton,
Amazing
brother.
choice. Thank you.
Amazing. More brother in many ways. More brother. More
You're
of a-
disrespecting film itself when you say that, Ashton.
Great
The
choice,
idea of
Chase.
film.
It was great having you as our host.
Thank you. Absolutely a wonder having
Holy
you.
shit. Should we
fellow
do?
knobs.
Did you guys want to do any honorable mentions?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I do.
I'll read mine off real quick.
I do.
Before we end, just in case any, like, what were the ones that almost made your top 5?
So mine were His House, The Gentleman,
as well.
Mowgli Mowgli, Pieces of a Woman, Get Duped, and obviously Tenet.
Holy shit, Ashton! Wait, like 4, like those were really good honorable. Dude, we have like a very similar taste in movie. Like Get Duped was awesome. His House was my favorite horror movie of the year.
Yeah, I
His
wanted to
House was good.
put that in there.
What was the you said His House? You said Tenet? What was the other? What was the
The
first one you said?
Gentleman,
The
Mowgli
Gentleman.
Mowgli,
Mhm.
Dude, the Gentleman was
and
fucking
Pieces of a Woman.
awesome. I didn't see that, but Chase did.
Yeah, it was good.
Pieces of a Woman is my first honorable mention, and it was specifically for that 25-minute one-shot scene. It was amazing. The first
Chase took a lot of
Great.
cinematography classes.
Great audio
on
production.
YouTube. So, and he knows all about audio production.
Oh, and if you ever wanted to see Shia LaBeouf full frontal,
Whew.
that's the movie to do it in.
Wait, can you repeat that quick?
Pieces of a
What was
Woman, cock and
Wait,
balls, Shia
Pieces
LaBeouf.
can you spell Pieces of a
Wait,
Woman? Where can I watch this? Wait, I'll be right back. Wait, I'll be right
that's
back.
on Netflix. It is on Netflix. Bowden, what are you
He's
doing?
on Netflix.
I hear him upstairs. Please stop.
So yeah, Chase, what were your honorable mentions? Is that it?
My honorable mentions, Tenet, but it wasn't there for me. Onward, obviously,
Yeah,
was
okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, Tenet was definitely too boring for you,
Wasn't
right?
there for me. Wasn't there
Tenet
for
too
me.
boring.
His House. I was trying desperately to find a horror film to throw in my top 5, like some sort of thriller. Like
I
that.
imagine you were a huge fan of Invisible Man. Like that was
I
very
didn't like the
original for
Invisible
you.
Man. I didn't like the Invisible Man that much. I'm sorry.
Wow.
No, I didn't. I
Lead
wasn't.
actress was a fantastic.
Wait, you didn't like it either, Ashton?
It just wasn't like I like original horror movies, and that's where I think His House should have been in my
His
top
House
5.
was cool. His House
It
was
was very original to me on like the take of a boogeyman, I would say.
Never, rarely, often, sometimes. As an honorable mensch.
Wait, did you say that right?
Never,
Never,
rarely,
rarely.
sometimes, always.
You
Yes, sorry.
you have the disrespect. You can't even get. The
I've been
name
saying
right.
that. Listen, I've been saying that wrong. I wish Paige was here so you could vouch for me. I've been saying that wrong for like 2 weeks now. 'Cause
I
every,
would like to say that revokes your entire top 5, in my opinion.
every time I
think we
talk
should
about it
go
with
out.
her, I say never, rarely, often, sometimes, or something.
Often, sometimes, maybe, perhaps.
It's cool. Yeah, a lot of dramas came this year. A lot of really good drama movies in 2020, I think.
My basically I have a list. My top 10. My number 10 was Bad Education. with Hugh Jackman, who's kind of a real life story. Number 9 was Possessor by Brandon
Boring.
Cronenberg. Possessor was like this incredible body horror sci-fi thriller movie. It was absolutely amazing. Probably the second best action movie of the year, even though there wasn't really a lot of action in it. His House is all honorable mention. It's the best horror movie of the year. Probably go see it. And then The Wolf of Snow Hollow, really great original werewolf movie. Really great, actually great comedy in it too. And then finally, my number 6, which almost made my top 5, was News of the World with Tom Hanks. Really great Western movie. Tom Hanks is a great character in the movie.
Very good, guys.
Great honorable mentions.
All around. Some better than others.
Objectively.
I think Ashton and I really hit it out of the park. We had not only a solid top 5, but great honorable mentions, and I think Chase kind of faltered a little bit at the end. Chase
absolutely wrong. But yeah, it was fun, guys. What are we doing next week? What's the next one we're doing?
That's a good. We can shout out. Do you guys have any idea? I was thinking next.
If we have any fans, please let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, we're open to doing a lot. We want to do more lists, top 5s, top 10s.
Upcoming next week is an Adam Sandler debate. Is Adam Sandler a good actor?
Ooh,
which I say yay.
No. Sorry, it's not just is he a good actor? Is he a good human being? And the answer is nay. He's a terrible fucking human being.
He is amazing, and find out next week.
We'll talk about it. It's gonna be contested. That's a highly contested topic in this group.
Yeah, you're fucking dumb, Bohden.
Sandler.
But yeah, for anyone who did watch this, I'm sure we'll have a comment section. Go ahead and give us any if you just want to hear us talk about anything you want. We'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, specifically.
Let us know if you think you should be paying for this. Maybe we'll put this somewhere where
let me know if you want us to charge you.
Unfortunately, by the time you watch this, it is now behind a paywall. Good luck.
Yeah. I believe we're getting a call as we speak that we're being bought by iHeartRadio. So we will see you next week on iHeartRadio. Check your app.
See you guys.
Yeah, cool. Well, okay, yeah. I was gonna plug.
We're done. We're done, Chase.
Oh, we're done?
Chase, we're fucking done. Stop.
I was gonna plug.
What are you gonna plug?
Plug your fucking
plug. I didn't know if you wanted your letterbox plug.
I guess plug it.
I didn't know if you wanted your letterbox plugged, bud.
Plug it.
Oh yeah. You know what? Fuck it. We'll keep. Yeah.
If you want social, and I was gonna say Film Knobs on Twitter and shit because we have Film Knobs.
Well, we could also have our social medias in in the description of wherever we post this.
Yeah, just plug it for the first one. We don't have any fans. Yeah, we're still recording. We don't have any fans.
We don't have fans. Yeah, whoever's watching.
Hey.
God fucking bless you.
If you made it this far, congrats.
I'm sorry. We're sorry.
You're an amazing human being.
First and foremost, we apologize.
But yeah, you can find me. Chase and Ashton don't post on Letterboxd, but if you are a film fan and you're on Letterboxd, you can find me. You can just search my name. It'll be in the description of wherever we post this.
Yep. And actually, I'm gonna start using it more for 2021. I wanted to log all my films, and I just started doing it earlier, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Hopefully this will.
Fuck yeah.
All the time.
I will not be joining Letterboxd because I'm not a fan of being a Yelp reviewer. So, but good on you guys.
Ashton doesn't want his data anywhere.
Well, also Ashton's busy being the greatest father ever, so he doesn't have a lot of time.
That's a fact. I don't have a lot of fact, and that's why you guys won't be able to find me on social media. Only when the Film Knobs Podcast on Twitter. Check us out.
Check us out on Twitter for sure at the Film Knobs. That's
the Film Knobs.
Kind of our name. And yeah, sing us out, Bohden.
The Film Knobs.
Beautiful.
Yeah, super.
Thank you, guys.
Super great, guys. Super.
I put soul into that.